You're Ilana.
You're Sean.
And together we are the
Downunder Cruisers.
How you going, folks?
Hey.
We have a cruise coming up. Carnival Horizon. Here we come.
Here we come.
How do we prepare?
Episode 1.
Let's talk about it. Okay. G'day, folks. Yes, Carnival Horizon. We're going on the cruise ship. We're coming from the other side of the world.
Yes, we're looking forward to our group cruise. So, yes. So, being an international trip, of course. Now, it's our first international trip in a very, very long time together.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
it is.
also our
First
Carnival
cruise. First time in the US.
First time in the US and together. And it's also COVID travel as well. Hopefully by then it'll be post-COVID. I doubt it. But there are lots of things that we have to think about in terms of preparation and what we need to bring, etc.
Okay. So what do we do to prepare? What's the first thing we should get organised?
Okay. Well, we have our trip is booked. In terms of the cruise is booked. We've got our cabin. We've got a cove cabin, which was selected. And so we know we've got our itinerary. We know our dates for the cruise itself. So we had to think about a complete holiday around that. So we had to think about how long we could take time off work. We run our own business. So it's important that we need to be back earning money for our next cruise. So we might think, well, it's your own business. We've got the luxury of deciding you could take forever. No, we can't. So we've allowed 4 weeks, which is typical Australian annual leave, spending a lot of time pre-cruise, a couple of days post-cruise, and of course it takes, about 2 years to fly home. So,
2 years to fly.
So at least 2 days there and 2 days to the States and 2 days back.
The key thing we need to look at is whenever anybody goes on any cruise ship, don't fly the day of the cruise.
Yes, absolutely. You do not want to be delayed on a flight due to weather or mechanical issues, hold-ups. Come in the day before or at least 2 days before. You know you're there.
That happened to Jackie, my sister.
It did, I know.
Yeah, they went out on they were going on a cruise out of, I'm not sure whether it was Miami or somewhere there, but they flew out of Australia 2 days before the cruise. But what happened was their plane got delayed here, so they couldn't make the connection. And by the time they actually got on the connection and got into wherever it was on the cruise ship, they didn't have any luggage either.
Luggage, yeah.
So give yourself some time, especially if you're doing an overseas trip.
Yep. So we are looking at flights, which is a little bit difficult at the moment because there are no flights actually on the table for us for September, end of September, beginning of October anyway. But we will be coming in. We'll be coming in 3 weeks earlier so we can spend time since we're coming all that way. So okay, so we've got our deciding on our dates that we'll leave Australia, how long we're going to be away altogether. Number 1. Number 2, now because it's international, really important document that you need is an up-to-date current passport. Mine isn't. I know that. It expired 12 months ago. Didn't think about renewing it because we couldn't go anywhere anyway, but the time has come and I don't want there to be a rush once our borders are open and we have a long wait. So I will get cracking on that. You can do it all online now, which is great. And please make sure that you check carefully your expiry date on your passport because immigration requires you to have at least, is it 6 weeks or
6 months?
It is 6 months life on your passport. So
to come back.
To come home. So please make sure that you have at least 6 months on your passport. So passport, your booking, your cruise booking. If you are flying, you will need, of course, to organise your flights, etc. Make sure that you read them carefully. You know the dates in America, the US dates are back to front to what we're used to.
Oh,
Like we say today, it's the 11th of the 10th, 21, and in the States, it's back to front. It's 10/11/21.
10/11, yeah.
And please make sure that if you know that it's going to be, the time is in usually 24 hours for flights and travel. Make sure that you understand that carefully, and that you're not going on the day where daylight saving has changed over and you get stuck 1 hour before or after and miss everything. So really, really, really read your documentation well. Please travel with travel insurance. We are going to be investigating travel insurance, particularly in light of COVID travel. We will not be travelling to the States or anywhere else overseas without travel insurance. We never do.
And the policy must include the COVID.
COVID, and you're covered for specifically cruise, because that way you get Medivac from the middle of the ocean. I know that can cost tens of thousands of dollars, which I know that we can't afford, and we can't afford to be stuck in a hospital away from home, because we're not covered with our national health insurance outside of Australia or New Zealand. So we never travel without comprehensive travel insurance. So we'll be investigating that. Not quite now, but we will before we make the final payment, in case for some reason we have to cancel due to our government changing their minds about international borders, etc. So that's what we do. And we also make sure that we always do photocopies, at least 2 photocopies of every document. We take one with us as well, separate to our actual original passports, etc. In case they get lost, we at least have a copy. 1, we need it for ID. 2, if we need to go to the embassy or a consulate, we actually have a copy of all our the document numbers, etc. And it's there for them to see, and makes renewal a whole lot easier. And we always keep a document here with a family member, particularly the itinerary. They know where we are on a particular day if they need to contact us. And really, I find that really, really important.
Also, one of the things that we did in order to organise for this lovely cruise is figure out how much money you're going to be needing.
Yes.
So for us, for example, we took a look and said, okay, the cruise costs us if it is say $1,000 US, it's going to cost us a bit more because of the exchange rate. So we need to save for that. We need to save for the flight. We need to save for spending money.
And also, we're not used to tips. We're not from a tipping culture. So that's something that's going to really actually
throw us a bit.
We're totally not used to that. So we have to also make sure that we have enough to cover tips as well.
Yep. So what we look at doing is, in order to organise the cruise, don't try and book everything at the last minute. At least, I beg your pardon. Don't try and book everything at the last minute. I mean, save. Put some money aside every week, every month, so that you can have sufficient, so that the time comes you can cruise. Yep. We set up a special bank account that we just put money into there, just so that we've got travel money. That's our holiday account. So when we'll end up being in the zip position at the end of this cruise, we will actually be saving up for the next one. And so keep that going.
And it's a goal to aim for too. We see it there and we think, oh, okay. And we know exactly, what our final cruise payment will be on that particular date. And so we know that, yes, we have that in the bank, and then we factored in also our flights, etc. And then we have to think about what we take in terms of currency as well.
Yep.
And of course, we will use
Aussie
we don't
dollars.
have credit card, but we use a debit card. So we'll have that. But yes, we will be taking, we'll take American currency with us. We'll take some with us. Little monies, the greenbacks, for add some coinage for tips and things as well. And to buy little souvenirs at the cruise ports, etc. So there's a whole lot of things to think about.
What about the itinerary?
Well, the itinerary, the cruises obviously organise the itinerary, but it's thinking about, and the hotel as well. We have to think about the hotel, pre-cruise hotel, post-cruise where we're going to be and factor in, if we are at a hotel, we have to factor that in, transport or transfers to and fro between airport and cruise terminal as well. So it does add up. We have to be aware of all those little things that you may not really think about.
And seeing as we're going to be there 3 weeks before the cruise, we also have to think about the itinerary of what we're going to be doing while we are there before.
Yes, so we will get our diary and coordinate with people and relatives and friends who want to see us, and we want to see them, of course, everybody, and sort out all that. Yeah. So, folks, we hope that this has given you an indication of what we need, what you need, and next step will be on episode 2. Take care. Bye.